Hello, all benders and non-benders, and welcome back to Avatar Generations. Today, we are going to talk about the current meta of Arena, what it kind of seems to be, and what characters you can build to really increase your performance in Arena. Before we do get started, if you could like the video, I'd greatly appreciate it, and if you haven't already, please go down below the video and subscribe. We are almost to 1,000 subscribers, so please, we are almost there. It would mean the actual world to me. Let's get to 1,000 and beyond. So, few things. This video, the reason I'm making this video, one is to talk about Arena because it has gone through quite a few changes lately, but also, this is also serving as a pseudo overview of a few characters that I have not yet gotten to. A few noteworthy ones being Kelsang, Jianzhu, Masaru, and a couple others. Overviews of them are coming eventually. It's just I've been behind. Working a job, you gotta love it, you know. I wish I could make videos every single day, but it doesn't really happen. But that's okay. That's why we're making this one. Also, the Broken Bonds banner and the Captain Masaru banner are going to be going away very soon. So I wanted to go ahead and get this video out there in case some of you were on the fence about them. Also, I have recorded a Blue Spirit summoning video just for the fun of it, but I wanted to get this one out first. So, Arena. As many of you know, before the latest update, it was very defense focused. Well, that got turned on its head. Defense got a major rebalance so that the defensive stat is not quite enough to turn somebody into a brick wall. If you want to be a brick wall, you really need that HP stat. As a result, certain characters thrived. So let's talk about those characters. First, we are going to take a look at what I have for my team here. Kyoshi. Avatar Kyoshi is the strongest character in Arena right now. I think that's a pretty safe statement for me to make. I mean, any self-respecting team in the top 100 probably has a Kyoshi, unless they are going for a much more niche team, which we will get to in a second. But Kyoshi is rampant. I love Kyoshi, okay? I think Kyoshi is cool. I think she's awesome. I read the books. The books are fantastic. Like, wow. I read those when I was on vacation a couple weeks ago. Wow, those were good. And I will be starting the Yang Chen book very soon. Kyoshi is incredible. If you have a Kyoshi, build her, crank up her defense. Like I said, I tend to go for a mix of resistance and accuracy if I can, because not only does she hit like an actual truck with her advance especially, but she can do revenge strikes, she can do powerful AoE strikes with effects that bypass resistance. She can do no wrong. If you want a strong team, Kyoshi is the way to go. Now, we're going to talk about specifically Kelsang and Jianzhu. I'm not quite sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. I really should have watched the video that the developers put up, but I didn't. Oops. But these two characters here are fantastic in Arena. Kelsang especially, if you have to go for one or the other, Kelsang especially is very good because of his defensive utility. Being able to have this Guardian stance up, which makes critical hits hit like wet noodles, and makes the rest of your team completely immune to debuffs. Yeah, this guy is awesome. He is awesome. So definitely a very powerful member of the team. And then Jianzhu is a debuffing damage nightmare. His locus of control here, inflicting misdirect, which means that the backline is taking extra damage. He can tear some teams up on a good day. He absolutely can. So, these two characters are fantastic. If you were kind of on the fence about summoning the Peace Chaos banner, let this serve as my endorsement of them. Like I said, overviews are coming, but they are fantastic characters. Finally, I do actually want to talk about Masaru here. He is currently a powerful opponent banner. And he is a good one in my opinion. The cool thing with him is you have his advanced here, which inflicts a rank 2 fire debuff, meaning that the enemy is going to take a lot more damage. And then he follows up with a basic that hits like a truck. Especially if you get him 6 out of 6 like I have. That basic can hit hard. It's funny because PvE, it doesn't hit as hard because the enemy isn't quite as defensively stacked as they can be in PvE. But with this one, it ignores shield and damage reduction effects, which includes defense, which matters a ton in Arena. This dude is effective, and I gotta say, I went very much back and forth between using Masaru and using Yoon. Yoon is another fantastic character. He does some great debuffs with the restrict that ignores resistance. He can do barriers. He can even reduce cooldowns if you get him up to skill mastery level 4. Yoon is a fantastic character, and a lot of people have been using him with great success. I personally like Masaru a little bit better, though. Masaru does have the death save. He has been doing a ton, and I don't even have him up to skill mastery level 4 yet, which gives him some very nice turn meter debuffs when he does his death save. Like I said, that one's very subject to opinion. I think he's very comfy. I think he's very, very comfy. But Yoon is another fantastic one as well. It's probably a little shameful that I have him up to 6 out of 6, and I don't consistently use him in Arena. But what can I say? I like Masaru. I really do. Man's comfy. Man is real comfy. Now, to give some other characters that are still very effective, Boomy is one I want to give a very strong mention to. HP did not receive the defensive nerfs that the defense stat did. HP is still a very bulky stat, which works fantastic for Boomy because all of his attacks scale in HP. So he can actually still do a whole lot of damage and be a real problem on a good team that is built around him properly. I have lost battles to Boomy because he goes into his neutral gen stance and then hits like an actual truck with that 3-hit basic. Boomy is a great character that has seen a lot of use. Iroh is still good. He's not nearly as meta-defining as he was pre-defense balance update, but he is still very good. You can build him with a very healthy mix of HP and defense. Of course, he has the tenacity, his calming stance. There's still a lot he can do. He is by no means out of the game. A character I do want to bring up is Zinfu. This guy was undeniably meta for a while there. He's fallen off pretty good. Being that defense is his bread and butter, he has fallen off. However, if you have Zinfu, you don't mind being a little bit lower on the totem pole of Arena, and you maybe don't have Kyoshi, he is not a bad character. He can still serve you pretty well. Now, I do want to talk about some team composition stuff, and I will be mentioning more characters as we go along. A character that I really should have built, because what seems to be working really well is having Kelsong, Kyoshi, a tank character, and then a high damage character, preferably with AoEs if possible. That tank character that a lot of people are throwing in is good old Pirate Man. Let me tell you, this dude's a pain. When he received his buff, I wish he'd received his buff before his banner actually went away, because he's strong. This dude is strong, and maybe he did receive it before his banner went away. I'm forgetting, unfortunately, so that might just be on me. But he's got the Hailstorm hook here, which can just straight up ignore resistance and inflict the waterbending ability on everybody. He can heal himself on a good day. Tons of stuff this man has got here. A lot of people have been having success with running Kelsang, Kyoshi, Pirate Man, and then the fourth is very much a flux character. You can also, if you don't have Pirate Man, you can also use Iroh. Like I said, I'm kind of double dipping on the offensive side because I like Masaru a lot. His death save kind of makes him, I'm not going to say it makes him a tank, but it makes him kind of a pseudo-tanky character where he can't get blasted in just one shot. But if you do have good old Pirate Man here, He is very good to build. But let me tell you, with these powerful opponents, unless they do just look blatantly bad, I might just start getting them all to 6 out of 6 every time. I got him to 3 out of 6, but I might just start getting him to 6 out of 6 all the time. It's not like it's even that many nature stones. I've got no shortage, of course. And a lot of them turn out really good, which is surprising. So yeah, that is definitely something to keep in mind here. That and then that last offensive spot, Jianzu is very good. Rongi I've seen used to great effect. She is interesting because of her basic here, which kind of turns into a pseudo AoE if she's hitting that front line, and then her Flame of Judgment here hits like an actual truck. So I've seen Rongi used to great effect. The Blue Spirit, I haven't seen him going around as much, but on the few teams I have seen him used, he can be dangerous if you don't deal with him quick. So just something to kind of keep in mind there. And then 5-star Toph, I have seen some good use out of. And then here's a team that I do want to give a very strong honorable mention to because it kind of goes very much against the grain. And that is these Waterbender pirate teams. These teams can go hard when done right. What do you usually see on these teams? You usually see Kelsang and Pirate Queen Tegaka together. Those two work fantastically together. They are great. They do a ton. The water elements just go insane with these two. And then especially if they're mixed with Katara here, Katara mixes very well with Pirate Man and with the Pirate Queen. Not only can she inflict more water elements, but she's got the freeze, which Tegaka loves because her mastery level 4 makes her do more damage against frozen characters. And then this last slot here can be kind of a flex slot. I've seen Kelsang, like in this one, and I'm actually going to go into this fight here because I do want to talk about how my team is built. I've seen Kelsang. I've seen Kiwak is another great character who mixes well. So this one is one that very much goes against what the current kind of perceived meta is, but can do a lot when built right, especially if you have like a water amulet that can work very well. You gotta love the graphical bugs of the emulator, but that's okay. So this is a great thing to bring up here. If you do have Kelsang, you want that man to be fast. You want that man to be really fast and get out that Guardian stance as fast as possible. The reason for that is, first of all, it makes him nice and bulky. But also, if you take a look at his mastery on his passive, at mastery level 4, he increases the turn bar of all allies by 10% when the Guardian State activates, which is double for Team Kyoshi characters, which includes Kyoshi, includes Yoon, includes Rongi. He is fantastic, and he's actually going to do some healing here too. His went first, which means, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to immediately do the heavy hits I wanted to, but we're just going to work with it and see what happens. So we do get a little bit of healing there, but Pirate Man's going to do his thing. I'm not going to receive a whole lot of water element damage, thankfully, because the Guardian stance is active, but it's still not going to be fun. So what we're going to do here, we're going to go for our AoEs. Barely affects anybody because of Kelsang, but that is okay. However, that is kind of a thing with this team, is that it can struggle with bulk if your Tegaka is getting beat to crap. This Katara here is going to try and get around that with the water amulet. This basically gives everybody a death save, at least one. So that can be very, very helpful. I think it works once for each character, but maybe I'm wrong. It might just be once per battle. But what we're going to do here is we are actually going to target the Kelsang. Optimally, how I like for it to go is Kelsang goes, and then Jianzu, and then Masaru. Reason I have that is if Jianzu goes first and uses his AoE, it actually works to where Masaru can use a combo attack when he actually does strike. Now I'm getting kind of lucky here because he keeps getting his extra turns from the ignition here, which is kind of crazy. But I am not complaining. You see, that's why I really like Masaru, is he is comfy. When he works well. However, I will say, this team is not the end-all be-all. It has got some counters. Especially if the enemy has an immunity. A lot of people I've seen in high-level arena running with a one set or a two-piece of an immunity set, just so that they have the immunity at the very beginning of the fight. That is tough to get around. That can really shut my team down. But this team actually works pretty okay. 36% on the defense is not bad. 84%, that's mostly user error and some testing on my part. That happens. But yeah, now the last thing I do want to go over here, if we're going to talk about meta, we might as well talk about the top. We have got good old Hobo Farts here. Now this is interesting because this is not the team I've ever seen before. Well, now I've got to fight it. I've never seen this team before. This is new, actually. Never seen it. But now I've just got to. You saw he had a full Earthbender team that he beat me with a while back. But I am super duper curious to see how this is gonna go. Okay, we've got the Pirate Man here. He's granting a lot of turn meter. Okay, that could be a problem. Oh, okay. Yeah, that hurt. That hurt a lot. Okay, so let's see what he's got here. He's got Zhao. I don't like Zhao. I wonder if he knows something that I don't, because I don't find Zhao to be very good. Does he not have any sets on this character? I'm wondering. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. But I'm curious. I'm super curious. Azuko looks barely built. Not sure what's going on there. But we're just gonna strike here. Unfortunately, Kiyoshi is already having problems. Oh, I think Zuko just triggered her a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, hey, that works right for me. Okay, so I'm not sure what's going on with this fight, but I'm actually just gonna strike because it looks like the team's about to fall over anyway. I'm wondering if this is something he's strategizing with, kind of playing with. So maybe not the best showing of the top meta that I could have possibly whipped out, but that's okay. He is out of there. I mean, hey, win's a win, right? Let's see. I want to get one more good example of kind of what seems to be the current meta. Now, we might be getting an update eventually, so that could... you know what? Here's a good one here. Sandwich Man with the Kiyoshi, the Kelsong, the Yoon, and the Jianzu. This is interesting because he's actually making sure his Kelsang is even faster, which means that dude is going to be cruising. So we're going to do one more fight here before we wrap up the video, just to kind of see the team in action. Yeah, with that Lemur, Kelsong is going to be cruising. Boy, I wish the emulator worked better on the graphics, but that's okay. Okay, so Kelsong does have the immunity. That can be difficult to work with. Thankfully, I am going to be able to cleanse my own Kiyoshi here. Oh, that hurt. Uh-oh. Ow. Okay. So, we're actually going to use our basic here to cleanse the immunity. Unfortunately, stuns and knockdowns and stuff really aren't working right now. They're really bugged. Hopefully that will be fixed in the near-ish future. We're going to take a look here. See what he's running. Yup, fast as mess, Kelsong. Okay, we do have tributes. So that is good to know. We're actually going to take this opportunity to just go ahead and mow down the Kelsang here. We're going to take no chances. Dramatic overkill, but that's okay. Eee, that hurt. That hurt a lot. Yeah, this team is tearing through me. Okay. Hit Kyoshi hard and fast. Fortunately, the Earth element should prevent her from getting the immunity. Oh, I forgot about the fire debuff. That worked out. That worked out really well. Okay. I might actually get away with this. See, I really love being able to put that Earth element on the Kyoshi as soon as possible to try and prevent the invincibility. It still serves as a death save, but the invincibility won't necessarily proc if she has the Earth element on there. Oh, and I think Kyoshi is gunning Yun down. Okay, well, I'm actually a little proud of that one. That's better than I expected that to go. You can take that as an example to say that this team is effective, although I think there was a fair amount of luck in that one, because if the Masaru had gone all in on taking, or not the Masaru, the, I'm totally blanking, if the Kyoshi and his characters had gone all in on taking down, my Kelsang before he could do his thing, that could have become a problem. But that is what we have for Arena. If there are any other strategies I have not gone over already, let me know down in the comments below. This meta has become a little bit more interesting than the heavy defensive meta, I would say. There's a lot of room for experimentation, a lot of room for strategy. Like I said, you can kind of swap out Jianzu for someone like Rangi, or Bending Master Katara, or you can even go for the full Pirate Water team and do some crazy stuff with some freezes. But that is all we have for today. I hope you found this video helpful. Like I said, Kelsang and Jianzu are going to be leaving soon. Masaru is going to be leaving soon. So if you were on the fence about summoning for some of those characters, if you've been really waiting to see what happens, you can take this as an endorsement to say that they are very, very good. But that is all we have for today. We shall see you next time. Have a good one.